What can I do with the PowerShell commandlet measure object? In this episode, we're going to answer that question. Measure object is a commandlet that allows us to take the properties of a bunch of objects and do some calculations on them. Let's take a look at some examples. The first thing that we need to do is to get a collection of objects. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to run this command. Now what this command is going to do is it is going to go through all the files on the C drive users folder and collect the information about those file objects. The next thing we're going to do is we are going to send this data into measure object. Now the default functionality of measure object is simply to count how many objects are there. And we can see that I've got 27,071 objects currently in this array. Now what we're going to do is we're going to be turning on some of the functionality. So this first one, we're going to do sum. Now we had to choose a property of this object. Now all files have a property called length. That is how large the file is in bytes. I want the sum of that. So I go ahead and I take that collection, I pipe it to measure object, and then I tell it the property I'm interested in. This case, it's going to be the length, and then I turn on the sum capability. And when I do that, you can see that it gives me the value of the sum. Now, the reason why you have to turn on these calculations is that if you don't need them, why waste the computational time to actually do them? Now, let's turn on another one of these calculations. Here, I'm going to be turning on the average. Let's see what happens. And there you can see that the average came out. It's, 2,624,617 bytes is the average per file. Okay, well, you know what? You can turn on all the functionality. Now, you can only do this in PowerShell 7. In PowerShell 7, you have the all stats and you have another calculation called standard deviation. In PowerShell 5, you don't have those. You only have the average, sum, maximum, and minimum that you can call upon. So let's go ahead and turn on all stats, and you can see all the calculations were completed. Now there's actually a little bit more you can do with measure object. We can actually use it with text files. Before I can demonstrate this, I need a text file, so I'm going to create a big one. What I'm going to do here is I am going to create a text file containing some of the help files for PowerShell. And now I'm going to read in that text file and I'm going to pipe it to measure object. But this time I'm going to turn on character, line, word, and ignore white space. And when I do this, it does a calculation and counts how many lines are there, how many words are there, and how many characters are there. Measure object is a quick, simple, and easy way to do basic calculations within the PowerShell pipeline. Now, there are a lot of different ways that we can perform calculations. This is just one that's quick and simple. Thank you for watching. Make sure that you tune in next time when I answer another question for one of my IT classes. Y'all take care.